You know, dividend ETFs are talked about all the time as the super simple way to get passive income. But what are they really? Most people kind of just nod along, so let's actually break it down, shall we?
I mean, seriously, have you ever wished your investments could just pay you? Not someday when you sell everything, but like a regular paycheck that just shows up. Well, that's the core idea we're going to get into today. So how in the world is that even possible? It all comes down to one super important concept, the dividend.
Okay, so picture this. A big, successful company makes a ton of profit. What do they do with all that cash? Well, they've got a choice. They can pour it all back into the company to grow even bigger, or they can say, hey, thanks, to the people who own a piece of the company. That's you, the stockholder, and share some of that profit. That little piece of the profit they send you, that's a dividend.
Yeah, it's pretty much that simple. Let's say you own shares of a company like Coca-Cola. Every quarter, like clockwork, they might just send you a small cash payment. It shows up in your account no matter what the stock price did that day. It's basically your slice of the pie for being a part owner.
But let's be real, trying to pick the right individual companies to invest in can be super tricky. So, how do we make this whole thing way simpler? Well, that's where the ETF bundle comes in.
An ETF, that's an exchange-traded fund, is all about making life easier. Think about it. Instead of running around the grocery store to buy the dough, the sauce, the cheese, the pepperoni, you just grab a frozen pizza. Done. An ETF does the exact same thing for stocks. It bundles dozens or even hundreds of them into one single thing you can buy.
So a dividend ETF is like a very special kind of pizza, one where every single ingredient is a company that pays out dividends. With just one purchase, boom, you're instantly a part owner in all these different companies, and they're all set up to potentially send you those regular cash payments. So you might be thinking, okay, but why would I do this instead of just trying to find the next big stock that's going to skyrocket? What is the big deal about predictable income?
It's really a different way of thinking. You're getting paid while you wait for your investments to hopefully grow over time. That means you don't have to sell your shares just to get some cash. And honestly, there's a huge psychological win in just seeing that money regularly hit your account. It feels good.
And here's the absolute key. Dividend ETFs are not about getting rich quick. They are a tool, a very specific tool, designed to create an income stream from your investments. It's less about explosive, high-speed growth and much more about creating consistent cash flow you can actually use.
But hey, just like any tool, it's not the right one for every single job. And it's so important that we talk about the trade-offs here.
Let's break it down like this. With growth investing, the whole game is hoping the price of what you own goes way, way up, so you can sell it for a big profit later. But with dividend investing, the goal is getting paid along the journey. Now, when the market's on fire, yeah, growth strategies often look amazing, but when things are kind of flat, that steady income can be a lifesaver.
This brings us to a really important idea: total return. You can't just look at an ETF's price and know the whole story. You have to add the cash payments, the dividends, to the change in price to see how you actually did. If you ignore the dividend, you're literally only counting half your money.
And you have to be really careful not to just chase the biggest, juiciest dividends you can find. This quote here from Joe Alger just hits the nail on the head. A super high yield can actually be a huge red flag. It might mean the company's in trouble and its stock price is tanking, which makes the yield look artificially high. It can be a real trap.
All right, let's get crystal clear on the risks. First off, those dividend payments, not guaranteed. A company can cut them tomorrow. Second, the price of your ETF is still going to bounce around with the rest of the market. And finally, and this is a big one, this strategy is built for income. It's probably not going to win a sprint against high-growth funds in a crazy bull market.
So after all that, what's the one thing you really need to remember? What's the big takeaway here?
Look, they're not the sports car of the investing world. They're more like a reliable sedan. They're not built for thrills. They're built for a purpose. If you're looking for that heart-pounding excitement of a stock that might double overnight, this ain't it. This is all about building a slow, steady, and predictable stream of income.
And really, it all comes down to this question. There's no right or wrong answer, but knowing what you're trying to do is everything. Are you trying to build a giant mountain of wealth way off in the future? Or are you trying to create a river of income that you can use right here, right now? Your answer to that question is what's going to tell you if a tool like a dividend ETF makes any sense for you.